Всем привет! Давайте сегодня разберем about sentences and about conditionals и сколько conditionals есть вообще в английском языке, условных предложений. First one is here, let's see about zero conditionals. As you know, в английском языке есть zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, and the last one is here, mixed conditional. Они все очень интересные, я прям обожаю эту тему. Давайте разберем это вместе. First one is here, if we are talking about zero conditionals. Zero conditional, and then when we talk about a zero conditional мы используем then when we are talking about a generally truths, we're talking about a truths, we're talking about a facts, когда мы говорим о каких-то правдах, фактах, законах. The first one is here, generally true in the present or in the past, in particular law, rules, or give instructions. Например, the structure of zero conditional is if plus present simple, there we can say if plus present simple, imperative plus present simple. First one, например, if you, или if I eat too much chocolate, I feel sick. Это уже есть факт. Если я буду есть много шоколада, я заболею. Or the next one is here, if you see a spider, run. For example, here we are giving instructions. Мы даем какую-то инструкцию, какое-то направление. Если ты увидишь паука, беги. And then, next one is here. For example, it gets cold here когда the sun goes down. And also we are talking about the generally truths. Или, например, я говорю, если ты будешь кипятить воду, оно закипит. If you heat the water, it boils. And also here we can say we're talking about facts. If subject and then the present simple verb in a base form, the water, it boils. Оно закипит. Next one is here when we are talking about our first conditional. First conditional we use when we are talking about our future situations that thing likely or probably happen when we are talking about our real possibilities, реальные возможности, in the present and future, в настоящем времени и в будущем времени. Например, the structure, формула у них какая? If plus present simple, and then if plus subject plus present simple, then comma, subject plus will, or plus present simple plus subject, and then there we can say will, or a negative form is will not, is won't, plus verb in a base form. Например, if it rains tomorrow, we won't go camping. Если завтра пойдет дождь, мы не пойдем ни на какой пикник. And also we're talking about our real situations, real possibilities, реальные возможности. Or if you pay attention, you may see a shooting star. Или мы говорим, if I can't go out, я возможно, не выйду, if I don't finish my homework, если я не сделаю до конца мое домашнее задание. Или, например, если сделаешь домашнее задание, пойдешь гулять. If you do your homework, you will go out. Next one, second conditional. Second conditional when we are talking about unlikely situations, when we are talking about impossible situations in the future and then in the present. So here we can say to talk about a present or future situations impossible or unlikely to happen, то что вероятно они могут не случиться. Here also, if we're talking in second conditional about our dreams, мечты or our wishes, пожелания. Например, если бы я была президентом, образование в Казахстане было бы бесплатное. Unfortunately, I'm not a president. There we can say if. Также вы должны замечать, что в second conditional после verb to be, в частности, используется уже were. If I were the president the president of Kazakhstan, the education would be free. And also here, if we're talking about a structure, it means if plus subject plus past simple and comma subject plus would or negative form is wouldn't. And actually, if we're talking about abilities, that we can use could or couldn't. And after that, we use a verb in a base form. As you can see, if I were the president of Kazakhstan, the education would be free. Unfortunately, I'm not a president. Or, if I were you, если бы я был на твоем месте, I would tell my parents the truth. Я бы рассказал своим родителям всю правду. Но я не на твоем месте. And then would, contraction is I'd. The last one is here, third conditional. Потом уже разберем mixed conditional. Third conditional. Third conditional, there we can say, when we were talking about the different actions in the past, most of the time we're talking about regrets, сожаления, and which did or didn't happen, and we also imagine a different results. The most of the time we're talking about regrets, сожаления, or we're talking about actions that we couldn't change in the past, то, что мы не могли изменить в прошлом. And then the structure is if plus subject plus past perfect, comma, subject plus would, could, might, plus have, plus verb 3 or regular verb ed. There we can say, if I hadn't lost my job, I could have been promoted. Если бы я не потерял мою работу, у меня было бы быть повышение. Я бы мог взять какое-то повышение. But also here we're talking about regrets, сожаления. Или мы говорим, если бы ты не был так груб со своим боссом, ты бы не потерял свою работу. If you, the past perfect, не был бы груб, had not, contraction is hadn't, been rude to your boss. The comma, you. Also there we can say would, could, might, plus also you can add not in the negative form. You wouldn't have lost your job. And also here we're talking about regrets. There, if you hadn't been rude to your boss, если бы ты не был так груб со своим боссом, you wouldn't have lost your job. Или же в этом случае, if I hadn't lost my job, I could have been promoted. Если бы я не потерял работу, у меня было бы какое-то повышение. This one is here, third conditional. Mixed conditional. Mixed conditional, it means mixed second and third conditionals. That type of sentence combines a second conditional with the third conditional. То, что соединяет second и third conditional. And we're imagining a past change with the present results or present change with the past results. Какие-то действия, которые произошли в прошлом, но с настоящим действием. Например, past change with the present results. Какие-то изменения в прошлом, у которых есть результаты в настоящем времени. If I had gone to bed earlier last night, I wouldn't be so tired now. Если бы я лег спать, например, раньше прошлой ночью, я бы не был таким уставшим сейчас. Or present change with the past results. I can't do this alone. If I could, I wouldn't have called you. Я не могу это сделать один. Если бы я смог, я бы тебя не звал. Or most of the time right now, the teenager is talking about a relationship and everything. Если бы он тебя любил, то он бы, например, женился бы на тебе. If he had loved you, he would get married to you. This one is here, we're talking about a past change with the present results. Если бы он тебя любил, он бы на тебе сейчас женился. This one is here, mixed conditional. So, this one is here, we're talking about other expressions, the unless, as soon as, provided, providing, that we can use with the first conditionals. For example, you become dehydrated unless you drink enough water. Например, dehydrated, это идет обезвоживание. У тебя начнется какое-то обезвоживание, пока ты не выпьешь достаточно воды. If you don't drink enough water, unless, пока не. Или, например, я говорю, я не пойду на ее день рождения, пока она меня не позовет, пока она мне не отправит какое-то пригласительное. I won't go to her birthday. And also here that you have to pay attention после unless that you have to use only present simple. I won't go to the party или I won't go to her birthday unless she invites me. Next one is here that the use of the comma, когда мы используем comma, запятую. And also here, for example, if you don't hurry the structure, потом обязательно comma, запятая, you will miss the plane. Если ты не поторопишься, ты пропустишь свой самолет. Next one is here. The notes, also you can see about the notes, present continuous, present simple. If I cook, you do the dishes. Zero conditional, факты. Если я буду готовить, ты будешь мыть посуду. If I was or if I were, that's situated when we refer a hypothetical situation. В частности, как я сказала, в second conditional, after the verb to be, you use were. Например, if I were you, I would be more careful. Если бы я был на твоем месте, я бы был более внимательным. Or that's real or zero conditional sentence, the verb, we use indicative mood. If I was rude, please forgive me. Если бы я был груб, пожалуйста, извини меня. This one is here we're talking about zero conditionals. Or real conditional, также его и называют. This one is here summary, general true, possibly, imaginary situations, imaginary or impossible, and mixed imaginary or impossible. This one is here we're talking about a tense. What kind of tense should we use? Happy learning! Thanks for listening. Thank you for your attention. Bye.